Oh, this is our Wednesday night channeling. Let's see what class it is. Number 196. By the way, I'm going to order books tomorrow, so if you have some you want to get, well, you should tell me. Usually people tell me the day after I order my book, you know. And so I make another order. But I picked up this, I was inspired to pick this up today, The Letters of Scattered Brotherhood, edited by Mary Strong. And this is the hardback edition. Now we only have the paperback. But if you have the hardback edition, this is on page number 136, but it's a different page in the other book. I'm going to try to read it to you real well, so listen closely. It's very deep in this. What, Annabelle?
Can we order it?
Annabelle,
You have that already, Annabelle.
This book?
Yeah. This is one of the letters. It's filled with letters. It's the magic book, you know, where you pick it up and just open it, and this is where it came to today for me. And I want to read it to you because it's extra special. Though you are moved by the might of the ocean, the infinite of mind, the high ceiling of heaven, and outward vastness, are you by its dementing influence. Though you see mountain ranges and forests, the night blue of the sky, with stars and planets and worlds beyond, though you hear of the remote frozen seas and desolate waves, do not belittle yourself, for the spiritual concept within you is deathless and all-powerful, measureless. Now listen to this. Therefore, when you look through your eyes at immenseness, know that that which you hold within is more powerful. Know that that which you hold within is more powerful. Hold to the knowledge. Hold to this knowledge and fill yourself with faith, for it is your shield. Though you see multitudes in conflict, emotional and racial, be sure you are not impressed with your own littleness and inadequacies. That is the stupidity which cometh through ignorance. The ignorant are awed by show. The wise are awed by what is not seen, by thought. It goes on and on. I want you to take your book and read it, because most of you have this. And let's see if I can find it. Wherever you are, you can touch the secret spark, which is like radium, and that in that it gives off the eternal and deathless energy. The time will come when you will have little to do with it, because you will become more and more involuntary through your desire and need and love. It will gradually consume the outer you. It will it will cleanse you of the appetites, for they will be uncomfortable in the presence of this radiance, and the false and ignorant will be healed away. With the right atmosphere and thought. I think you'll enjoy that. It's difficult for me to read it in this light because I don't see it too well. But when you're by yourself and quiet and pick it up, of course it always turns to what you need for you. I didn't get much writing done today, but I wanted to share what little I did get with you. Our title is Open for Changes for the New Year and the New Age. To be open means your channels are open for new input. This, in turn, will mean that as you receive new ideas and understanding, you are willing to release and or adjust the past understanding. Life is continually multiplying itself, just as nature is on your planet. At this place in your experience, your planet, system, and galaxy are accelerating rapidly. You must learn to personally accelerate with the life force that you are. Go the way of your true self, and all is well with you. That was one of the teachers writing through my pen. But I got involved with something else, and that's all we got. So let's have a quiet time before we do our channeling. Let's close our eyes, relax our bodies, and go within. Let us reach upward to the higher realms of divine love and light. Let us think of this circle of light as extending upward in frequency to those beings of divine love and light that have come to be with us this evening, to teach us, to share with us their wisdom, their experiences, and their understanding. Let us be open to receive that which is given. And let us be wise enough to consider it before rejecting it. Think of divine love filling this room, and there are many, many others in our balcony who have come to learn from the other dimensions, just as we have come to learn this evening and hear the teachers talk. Let us send all of them God's divine love. Let love be our contact and our connection with the higher dimensions. Thank you, Father. Good evening, my dear ones. This is Don, coming to you from these divine love and light realms that we live in and that you are moving toward more and more each day. I tell you, my dear ones, your circle of light is bright and shining. Even though you have missed 2 or 3 weeks in our circle, you are holding your light high. It is important that through this new year and this new age, that you continue to hold your light of understanding high so that it can be seen by all. You need not speak unless you are guided to speak, but you can let your light shine brightly. And as your countenance is brought forth through divine love, you are seen by all around you, and sometimes they are not conscious of it. They see that something special in you that they are not consciously aware of, but there is a part of them that is aware of it, and it is important that you let this light shine and that you allow yourself to be this great example for this new age. I was allowed to give the introduction tonight, but Elwa is here and he will conduct our class this evening. I would ask you to send Donald an extra amount of divine love to make the contact a little smoother. God bless you, my beloveds. It is indeed a pleasure to be with you in God's love and in His presence. And I would remind you that His presence is within you and all around you. You cannot escape the presence of God and God's love, for it is everywhere present. We would talk about the new year and the new age. Each time, at this time of year, you make resolutions and you make a new beginning in a sense. But this is a special time for you to consider, because this new age, as you have been told, is very special, and it is the time, the most opportune time for you to be in the physical in the history of this planet. I say this to you almost every time we speak, but I want you to hear it at least once. I want you to hear and understand the great importance of this. And this message from the letters that Donald read part of is a very inspiring thing to consider. To remember that when you look out at the sky and see the billions of planets that are there, you see the vastness of the ocean and many other things, to remember that within you, you have more power than all of this, for God dwells within you. This is a very important message to you, for you to understand, for you to know, for you to consider, and for you to start living. Yes, you have made a beginning. You have started. But remember it more often, my dear ones. Remember that God's love is the key to all things. And as His love is the substance of all that is, you are created out of and from the substance of God's love. And when you remember to follow the rules of God's love, when you allow yourself to follow the guidelines of divine love throughout your day, throughout your every thought, word, and deed, then you are living the life that you are striving and that God has intended for you to live. Some of you may be surprised to realize that your presence in life is to manifest the Creator, your Creator, to manifest His countenance in every way possible. Yes, you may think of yourself as a long ways from this, but do not think in those terms. This is what the message in the letters was trying to tell you. Do not belittle yourself. Think not of your mistakes that you've made in the past or that you might even be making now, because, my dear ones, they are not mistakes. They are experiences. when you get past this concept of duality, when you understand that life is, period, when you realize that love is, period, God is, you are. You see, on these lower dimensions, and as I travel down just the same paths that you are walking, I have gone through all the experiences that anyone in this room has gone through, and anyone on this planet. Whether you think of this as true or not, it is true. If it were not true, I could not be your teacher, because I would know not what to say to you. For I would not know you, I would not understand you. The master teacher has also gone through all the experiences that you have gone through. So when you think of this, when you understand it, when you come to the realization that you are just as we are, just as God is, because you are God. When you come to this realization, then you accept your place in the kingdom of God, and you begin to live the life, the God being that you are. As you learn to clean out the misunderstandings about life, and that's all that good and evil is just misunderstandings about life. When you look at it this way, then you eliminate the guilt, you eliminate the self-condemnation, and you are able then to love yourself, even though you are still missing the mark, even though you are doing things that you think is bad, bad, bad. Realize within yourself, my dear ones, that your conditioning, your experiences from the past are still in your subconscious mind, many of them, and are coming forth, overruling your conscious reasoning, logical mind, because you are still letting them, and because you have not yet learned how to bring the God self forth strong enough to allow it to be the master. You are on your way, and you are succeeding. Never forget this. God is the life force that you are. He is the ruler of all that is, but He has given you the free will to go through these many experiences and this concept of duality that you believe in until you awaken to the real truth of your divine being. And as you do this, then you know who you are, and you take your place in God's kingdom. You are in God's kingdom now. You are in eternity at this moment. Eternity always is, because it is only in the present moment, and the present is all that is. So turn loose of that past, turn loose of any self-condemnation or guilt. Do not look up in the sky and at the vast universes, and there are more than just your universe, my dear ones. As you may have been told, there are many universes, but do not let that allow you to think of yourself as a small, small thing. Because, my dear ones, without the life force that God is, the divine love that God is, you would not exist. God's love and life force, God himself, is the life that you are. He sustains and maintains your being. And without this divine being that created the whole universe, you would not exist. And so you see, there is only one life in the whole universe, expressing in many different ways. You are one of those expressions, and you are as God is. And all that you see, all that you experience on your plane or any other dimension is the same. It is God expressing in many different ways. When you understand, my dear ones, that your free will is such an important thing that God has given you, you will realize then that to have the free will, to make all the so-called mistakes that you want, and to go through all the experiences that you seem to want to, it does not matter. God holds nothing against you. God does not judge you in any way. And if anyone else judges you, that's their problem. You, my dear ones, are the only one that judges you. And when you do this, you're missing the mark. You should understand when you're going against the grain of life and realize this and make the change as soon as you can. But to feel guilty about it and condemn yourself for anything that you think is wrong is to miss the mark greatly. And it holds you to the so-called problem. It holds you down to the lower levels and keeps you blinded to the true reality of life. The true reality of your being is divine, is eternal. The true reality of your being is God. As you come to understand this, as you make it real in your consciousness, then do you become one with God, even in thought. That is one of Donald's prayers that he utters many times. Father, I would become one with you, even in thought. You see, when we left the Godhead, or the Garden of Eden, whatever you want to call it, we took one thought separate from God. It was not a fall. It was not a punishment. It was done on purpose to give you broader experiences, to go through many, many eons, as you think of as time, to have these experiences, to grow into a larger, greater spiritual being. You may not understand that that is what makes you this greater spiritual being, is to go through these so-called experiences that you think of as terrible. They are not, my dear ones. They are just experiences. And when you come to this realization, then you do not make such a big deal out of it. Okay, that's an experience I had. It's not so godlike, and I am learning to do better. And you turn your attention, my dear ones, to God's love and to the answer instead of dwelling on the problem, so-called. You are beautiful, beautiful beings, and it would be a wonderful thing if I could show you how beautiful you are, the reality of your being, if I could show you how your spirit shines brightly because you are making the effort, you are moving toward God being understanding, and you are successful in the work that you're doing. Continue to be successful. Continue to do whatever you want to do. Because you see, I cannot tell you what to do. Donald, your teacher, your physical teacher, cannot tell you what to do because God has given everyone freedom to do as he will. And if I were to tell you what to do, I would be putting myself above God. And this I cannot do. It is your choice to go as slow or as fast as you want toward your godhood. Should I correct this statement? Toward the realization of your godhood. You already are God's, but know it not to the fullest extent. This past year has seen much growth in many of you and a new beginning in some of you. This past year has given you many experiences that you have turned in to, shall we say, a shining star in your crown. For my dear ones, the top of your head is what you call the 1,000-petal lotus of your chakras. And as you grow, this opens up. As you have the spiritual realization of your godhood, these petals begin to open and they shine. And as we look from this level, we see exactly where you are. There is no doubt about it, for we see into your hearts and into your minds. We do not condemn you in any way for what you think you might be doing wrong. We're only here to help you in whatever way that you are willing to allow us to. Some of you have sent love into yourselves to help yourself to be more open for help from this side of the veil. And this is a good thing to do, because God's love is all-powerful and all-wise, and it helps us to work with you because it opens the door. You are giving your free will to us to work with you and to help you in whatever way that you need at this moment. For whatever is right in front of you, that is what you need. Whatever is right in front of you. Many have come to Donald and said to him, "What did I come to accomplish this time?" When he is asked questions, he usually says there is no standard answers, but for this one there is. And he always says to them, whatever is in front of you. And most do not know what is in front of them because they do not have eyes to see. The inner eye is not open enough to have the courage. Physically, they do not want to see themselves. Most on your plane purposely keep this inner eye closed because they do not want to know where they are in their soul's growth, because they still believe in the concept of good and evil, or duality, and they feel that they are missing the mark too much, and they do not want to judge themselves so harshly. This is what your letters called ignorance, and it is the ignorance that keeps you on the lower dimension. The wisdom, my dear ones, comes from within, and when you turn off the outer physical world and go within to the inner realms of divine love and light that dwells within you, there you find the answers to any and everything that you want to know. You have all the answers within you. This may frustrate some of you because you think you do not know how to find these answers within you. You can learn how to find the answers within you. What is the first step? The first step, my dear ones, is to stop thinking about your problems, so-called. You don't have any problems. You have opportunities for growth. These things that you call trouble and problems are what you came to this plane to experience. This is why you are here, is to have these so-called trouble and problems that in truth are opportunities. You can use them as tripping stones or stepping stones. It is up to you, and it is how you look at it that makes the difference. Your attitude towards yourself and towards life. Attitude means the position that you take. So if you take the position of looking at these things with the concept of good and evil and duality, then you have that position. If you take the position of looking at it with the inner eye and knowing the truth, then you are grateful for all these so-called trouble and problems. And this may seem like a slap in the face to some of you, but my dear ones, that truly is what you have come to this plane for. For on these higher dimensions of divine love and light, it is too easy, and your growth is much slower here, even though you do grow here and learn much. But when you want to accelerate your growth, you come to the place where there are more opportunities. And there are many opportunities, as you know, on this plane, but they are all illusion. They are not real. Just a play on a stage, my dear ones. And as you understand this, truly understand it, then you treat it as such. Some of you are wondering why I continue to say this to you, for maybe I've said it at least 20 to 50 times in our conversations, that this is just a play on a stage. Your other teachers have said the same thing. But do you really, really realize this? Yes, you realize it, maybe you accept it intellectually, but to realize it is to know it, and to know it is to live it. When you begin to live your life knowing every moment that this is a play on a stage, and that we are just actors and actresses, and it is no different than when you were in grade school or high school and was in a play and you played a certain part. You may not have gotten the part that you wanted, but you did your best to play that part. But when the play was over, then you knew that you were not the character that you were playing. And this is the same, my dear ones. When you leave this plane through the experience you call death and go back home, you look back at the mask that you were wearing, the personality that you chose to play, and you start adding up the score to see how you did. And then you make plans to do something else, whatever you decide to do to make the progress that you want to make. Now, in this new age, my dear ones, it is important for you to realize that things are accelerating very rapidly. They are accelerating, and you are seeing things that seem bad to you, especially in your cities. And it is important that you understand that these things that you are seeing and experiencing here on the news are just a play on a stage. They are getting more. There is more bad news all the time, it seems like. And your media now that you have brings it to you daily from the opposite side of the planet. And you wonder why all of this is happening. Why is everything going crazy? My dear ones, these are opportunities, and they need to be here. They are props that you yourself have placed and had a lot to do with placing these props on this stage called Earth. As you learn to remember this, then do you understand, and your reactions and responses to the things that are happening to and around you are much different. You do not need to get emotionally entangled in all these things. Yes, they're cutting down your rainforest. They're doing many things to pollute your planet. This is a part of the play, my dear ones. It is not good for the planet in the natural sense of life, but your planet is an entity just as you are, and it has accepted this experience just as you have accepted the experiences that you're having before you were born. This planet accepted the experiences it is having now before it came into existence as a planet, and the entity that sustains and maintains this planet is a huge entity that always has been, is now, and always will be, just as you are. Look at life above and beyond the physical plane. Yes, you're involved with the physical, and you can't help but see it, but know the truth. The master teacher said, know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Free of the misconceptions about what is happening, what is going on in your planet. There are other planets that are below you in their evolution. There are many other planets that are far above you in their evolution. They're journeying Godward. You are where you are. Accept it and be grateful for everything that you see, that you hear, that you experience. If you can learn to be grateful in all things, then this breaks the chains of your belief and illusion that holds you down to these lower dimensions. Be grateful, my dear ones. Open your channels to us on these higher realms, because in true reality, you're opening your channels to God. When you send God's love to all the invisibles, so-called, around you, you're sending God's love to us and all of your teachers and guides, and you have more than one. Some of you have many who are helping you in different ways. And as you send them love, this opens the door to help them to help you. Now, to be candid with you, there is dark realms around your planet, and there are entities of darkness that live on these dark realms. But when you send God's love to all the invisibles around you, if they are of the darkness, you see they have to change or leave, because they cannot stand these higher vibrations of God's love. So as you learn to think and live the life of love, then you are above and beyond these realms of darkness that are closely entangled with your planet Earth. And they have a great influence on your planet. And this is what you are seeing on your news so much more. They have to have their chance at this time. This is the time of enlightenment. Everything is coming to the surface. Everything is open to be seen. And it's difficult for anyone to get away with anything that goes against the grain of life at this time. And you are seeing this on your play. And it is a part of the experience of learning, not just for the individuals who get caught, but for all those who see it on your television screen, in your newspapers, in the media. There is much to learn on this planet, and our message to you tonight is to be open to learn all that you can at this time in your incarnation, for you see it places you in a much better place when you come back home to rest, and you have a greater opportunity then to move in another direction, or maybe come back and do some of these things over, whatever you decide when you look the whole thing over. Then you and the Lords of Karma that help you to make these decisions help you to make another plan and to move forward and to grow in wisdom, true wisdom, not the illusions of this physical plane. For as you become wise, as you know the truth, you see through the illusions, and they do not affect you unless you let them. Nothing can harm you or affect you in any way unless you open the door for it to happen. These are basic things again tonight, but they are very important to start your new year out with, so that you're on solid footing, so that you remember who you are, so that you can reach for the highest star that is within your crown. For it is all there within you, my dear ones. Shall we stop at this time and allow you to converse your understanding, or to ask questions or make comments? It is important, my dear ones, that you take your part in this channeling, so-called, and give of your thoughts. Ask questions. If you have a question, make comments of what you understand, whatever, my dear ones.
I have a question.
Yes.
How do you know if you're open enough to get help from the other side, as you spoke of earlier? I try to send love as often as I think of it, and I know that you don't get conscious awareness of that help. How do you know if you're opening yourself up enough to get the kind of help that's available to you?
You judge by what's happening in your life. How are you doing in your life? Are you satisfied with what you have, the understanding that you have? Do you ask for help and then not get it? If you do not, then you are not open, or you're asking amiss. Now this opens the door for many other questions, does it not? Mm-hmm. Yes, I see in your mind. When you ask amiss, you are asking for things that sometimes you're not ready to understand, or that you are asking for that would not be in tune with where you are in your growth at this moment. When you ask for help and do not seem to get it, and Donald thought that was the tape that had gone off. Is this the tape still going?
No, it's not.
No.
And
Oh, hello.
It has changed now.
no, it's just some time left. Quite a bit of time left.
I see.
Hello.
I was just thinking.
Let us, Annabelle, finish this question first. When you ask for help and do not seem to get it, it is because you are not open for it. And this may seem incorrect to you because maybe you think you're open for it. But you see, when you ask for an experience to happen in your life, you have to take the consequences of that experience. I think I'm using the correct words here. You sometimes want, well, let's say you want to win the lottery. This is a good example because you measure many things by money. And let us think about this for a moment. And how much would it change your life if you did? Are you ready to have that experience? Are you ready to be that much more lucrative in your finances? Would it change the opportunities that are in front of you? My dear one, would you respond to how we're doing with the answers on your question?
It's very good. You gave me a very good idea of what to look for. And when I do ask for help, most of the time the scenario that happens is if I'm really looking for it, I can feel a sense of peace. I don't necessarily get an answer, but for a brief time, the turmoil or the indecision or anxiety is gone, and then my subconscious takes overhand. But when I look back, I realize that at that moment I should send love or concentrate on that or expand on that. But there is a moment when I do ask for help, and there's this like a peaceful feeling that comes over.
Yes. There are times also when we ask for help and receive it, but then revert back to your old habit patterns. And this is something that is all right. No one judges you but you need to ask for help again, because you see you have closed the door when you revert back. And so when you realize that you have reverted back to your old patterns, then ask again. If you have to ask 100 times a day, ask 100 times a day. It does not matter. There is no time anyway. And so continue to work with yourself. Continue to be that which you want to be, and to keep asking and knocking until you are able to demonstrate that in your life. Does this help your understanding?
Yes, it does, and I'll just add another comment. I find that listening to your channeling whenever I'm driving someplace in the city or going someplace is a tremendous help, because even though the lessons seem to be redundant, sometimes it takes 100 times to listen to it before you really understand what the concept is, or even apply it in your life. It's like retraining or something.
Yes, even these things that we think of as basic are very profound, because and are very necessary to hear them again and again until you not just understand them, but you are able to live them. Yes. Annabelle, would you ask your question now?
So we say God is one, and that there is only one mind, and yet...
One life.
What?
And one mind and one life, yes.
And one life. And yet we have plagiarism, and we have copyrights, and when we have those, I think when people let themselves be channels, they should have some extra privileges. But I believe we need all of those ideas to bring forth the complete answer. And I think we hold ourselves back when we put such checks on ourselves.
Yes.
Because we need other people's building blocks too, to add with our own.
In your physical setup, as it is now in the laws of your physical land, you have copyrights, and the one who brought the idea that was given from these higher dimensions and manifested get the rewards for it. But in true reality, it is life's. It belongs to everyone. And this is why Donald does not put copyrights on his lessons or his teaching. And in his teacher's class, he tells those who take the class and intend to become teachers to use his material, whatever he has, because it does not come from him, it comes through him. And this is so for everyone. At this time, you have copyright laws, and you should go by them. But there will come a day when you do not need these things, because everyone will know the source and where everything has come from.
It belongs to everyone.
Yes, this is true. Are there other questions this evening or comments that you would make? You see, my dear ones, when you think of God's love, unconditional love, then you do not put conditions on your part that you're playing in this play. You do not say, well, this is my part and this is what I have created, and so it doesn't belong to anyone else. I have this, it's mine. It is yours, yes, but it is also everyone else's, because there is but one life. And we could not lift our little finger without the power of God. So you see, it is God's love that brings everything into existence. It is the life force that flows through us. It is the ability to think that comes from the one source of all that is. Are there other thoughts this evening?
I have a question.
Yes.
I'd like to thank you for coming. Also, my question is that when you ask for guidance, does that mean that the guidance, what you receive, will change the opportunity as it presents itself to you? Or does it just, I guess I'm looking to find out what guidance, where it comes from and how it comes about.
Everything comes from within in true reality. You ask for something and you are opening a door within yourself, and in true reality it comes from you, because you see you are God. And when you really know this and understand it, then you see you're unlimited, as this letter from the Scattered Brotherhood tried to explain to you. Do not belittle yourself. Know that when you look at the whole universe and many universes, the power within you is greater. It comes from within you because God lives within you, the one source of all that is. Does this answer your question? Or did you have another meaning?
I guess what I'm searching for is communication with my guides or my teachers.
Yes.
And I guess that's what I was grasping for when I asked for guidance.
Yes. You already have this. You may not realize it, but everyone has it. And many times you think it is your thoughts, but I have said before, and it is true, there are very few original thoughts on your dimension. You see, your teachers and guides are with you at all times, and when you go to sleep at night, my dear one, you leave your body, you leave this physical plane, and you're manifesting on other dimensions, and then you can talk to your teachers and guides, your friends that you've known for eons of time, and you make agreements on when your body is resting from you, I should say. You make agreements that your teachers and guides can help you and give you these thoughts that you usually think is your thoughts, that help you to solve some of your so-called problems and help you to move forward in your growth. You see, you do already have that contact. It's just a matter of realizing it. Donald uses the very simple example of when he's walking out the door and he doesn't have his keys in his pocket. And he always says, "Thank you, Father, for reminding me of this." And gratitude, you see, is very powerful. And when you give credit to the guidance, as you recognize it, then it opens up much more to your conscious awareness. It is always there, but becoming conscious of it and realizing it and recognizing it as such. There is a class ahead for you for this. 2 or 3 classes down the road maybe, but it is there, called Point of Contact, as Donald has named it. Does this help your understanding?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes. Give credit. See, when you have a hunch, it is usually your teachers and your helpers that are helping you. It didn't come from you, it comes through you. Now, I should correct myself, because in your age regression class you call the time travel, you do learn to work through the higher self, that part of you that is one with God at all times. And in this, you can ask your higher self and get the answers, and you're asking yourself. But that part of you that is above and beyond the physical illusions, and that knows all things as God knows all things. And I've heard some of these things many times. Realize that to hear them again and again is important until you can learn to live them. It is important for you to understand. When you go to grade school and you learn to add and subtract, you practice over and over until the memory is there that 2 and 2 is 4. But you see, when you add up 2 and 2 and get 5 as the answer, you have an incorrect answer. That if you do not correct this understanding, then as you go into more of your arithmetic, you come out with wrong answers. Now, this is the way it is in your life's progress. As you go against the grain of life and do not realize that you're doing this, and then you move on and try to reach higher in consciousness, this does not work, because you have to go back and correct that 2 and 2 is 4 instead of 5. This may not make much sense to you, but it is the same thing in your soul's growth. You need the basic foundation to stand upon, which gives you the understanding to move into the more advanced understanding of life's progress. Are there other questions this evening? I would have you to look forward to this new year and to the growth that you have made in the past years and in this incarnation with great expectation and with gratitude. Gratitude in all things, my dear ones, even if it seems a great disaster to you. Learn to be grateful for it truly is a part of your growth. It's an opportunity for you to know the truth instead of reacting in a negative emotional way and causing yourself to move backward instead of forward. There is no death. You are an eternal being, and you have all the answers within you. Continue to remember this. Continue to love, and especially love yourself. God bless each and every one of you, and good evening. Oh. Hi. Yeah, it is. Excuse me, it is as if I've gone on a trip to this.
And then
In a sense, I'm one with all of whoever's talking, and they're both together, and I feel their vibrations. Then when I open my eyes, and here I am in this room, it's a little startling sometimes at first. Or it's not startling, it's different.
It would be startling if we all got up and left before you came.
Yeah, and I would feel I was really off base.
You still go to that time, still in the one's last day. Just might get me to go to sleep.
I think that I was going to bring the message tonight, but he gave way to Ella because I wasn't as high as I should be.
Takes you a little bit to warm up. You had too long a vacation.
Yeah. One time. I've been in a different place in consciousness.
And we had so much rain this year too.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, it was wonderful. The sun came out today, and you could just feel, for me anyway, I could just feel the vibrations.
Well, for 2 weeks almost, I had the gardener came and cleaned up everything beautiful, and then that first big storm came and just messed everything up again. I just left it there, and it was almost impassable until yesterday. He came and cleaned it all up, and now it's bright and shining again when the sun's out. I wondered if Ella arranged that for us or something. You can't help but wonder that.
Well, I went to the unemployment office.
To a seminar?
No, the unemployment office.
Oh, and
you have to take these numbers when you go in, and it's such a hassle. So as I pulled in on Monday, which is probably the busiest day of the whole year, I thought to myself, oh, wouldn't it be nice if somebody gave me a number as I walked in? Just as I said that, this man got out of his truck and said, I couldn't apply for unemployment because I realized I didn't have enough money in my fund, so you want my number. So he handed me this number, and it was number 41. So then I wondered where I was going to be in line. So when I got in there, it was on 12. And I thought, well, that's not too good. Next time I'll have to ask for a really close number. So then I'm sitting there thinking about all this and how quickly you could make things happen and stuff. And then this lady sat down next to me, and we got to talking for a few minutes, and it turned out she had 41. And I said, well, how could we both have 41? And I looked at our numbers. She had B41, and I had A41. It was 100 and some people passed that I would have had to stand in line to get a number from. And we both had arrived at almost the exact same time. So I was 100 people ahead of her, even though I hadn't, got there the same time she did. So then I said, oh, thank you. I'll never underestimate your help again. And then I was waiting there for maybe an hour, even at that point, and I went up and got in line, and the lady goes, oh, you have to be in that line over there. So I thought, oh, I should have not even asked her anything, just waited to see what happened when I got in there. Because that guy giving me that number, I just assumed I'll just stand in that line, but I hadn't really looked at the line numbers when I got there. Those are pretty crazy. It was like off and on. I was thanking them, but then not thanking them.
say, wow.
Well, we all have all these experiences and opportunities, all different.
But I tell you can really meet crazy people at places like that, and you just going there makes you thankful for what you have.
Crazy people like you, huh?
Yeah, crazy people.
It's all right if you're crazy in the right way, then you're normal.
Yeah.
But if you're crazy like everybody else, right, that's the thing to do. But if you're crazy in your own individual way, you're absolutely insane.
Yeah. Well, I think this is the greatest opportunity that we all have of this planet. And some of the teachers have said there are many who are from very much higher planets waiting in line, you might say, to waiting for the opportunity to come to this planet. because it gives such unique opportunities, so to speak.
Income taxes.
you know.
Problems are opportunities, and opportunities are blessings.
Yeah.
I have a question about the lesson tonight. When they were talking about the media and all the very negative things, everything that's happening in the cities and stuff, all the negative aspects of it, and try to think of that as one of my opportunities. Is it that we're supposed to stay separate from that?
Well, the way you're asking is difficult to answer your question, but
I have a tough time with the English language.
I do too.
Doesn't everybody?
We are all different, so we are in a different world of our own, we might say. But I was I think something about thinking of the play I was saying, and to realize that you're not separate in a strict sense of English, but you are. You look at it as a play and as an opportunity. To see it as these individuals having opportunities. And it's this playing, it's a mixed mixture, you know. Like America, when we first started, we had people from all different countries, you know, come in, and still are doing that. And so this planet has many different kind of opportunities. Some are close to being saints, and some are the opposite direction. And you cannot judge. Let me tell you the story. You may not have heard this story. You're new, but most of the rest of you heard. Elwell once told us that there was this entity that was almost close to being a master, just almost there, but he lacked enough humility. So he planned a whole lifetime as a drunken bum in the gutter and never get out of the gutter. But when he graduated, he was a full master because he received his humility. But everyone walking by the drunken bum in the gutter would think, well, I'm more advanced than he is. But you can't judge by appearances. Anyway. So you don't know each and every one of those stories and what they're experiencing and what they need to learn from it. So it's better not to judge at all.
It helps to teach us all unconditional love.
Yeah, that unconditional love, regardless of what they're doing or not
Whatever
doing.
we see or hear, that's right.
Mhm.
I was wondering about that same thing myself, and then I kind of got an answer for it, which suited me fine. The first answer that came, the main reason was to show the connectedness, like Don said. Because if you think that you get out of plane and get off and 9 hours later on the other side of the world, you know how connected everything is, and so you can assume that, oh yeah, we could go to the moon or we could go anything. So this generation is learning that there is no boundary. You know, my mom and dad would never think of even buying an airplane tickets to go someplace because it's not even within their scope, or to even go to Europe or anything like that. Now Steve and I is something that's part of our world. And Chelsea, they may do that at the vacation. I'll fly to Europe or whatever. And the other reason was that you can experience all these opportunities in one lifetime where you never could otherwise. I mean, you can watch a TV show and see something horrible on that and make a decision about it, how you would experience it yourself. And if you could do it, like you said, in a loving manner, or realize that everyone's playing their part, then you've actually overcome that because you were able to experience it like a dream or something.
Yeah,
That's true.
React.
Hadn't thought of that.
Or not. Right, exactly. And you can make decisions about that. Like, and you hear so much about the religious, the strikes they have out in the Middle East. You right now can make a decision. How do I feel about that? You know, am I going to be prejudiced against the Jews, or I'm going to make, how am I going to think about all that? And you can make those decisions and help burn up some of that karma.
Another way of looking at it is that God is in everyone, everywhere present. And even those most hardened criminals, such as Hitler or this new one, what's his name? Yeah. Anyway, we're looking into their eyes, we're looking into the eyes of God.
And how many times do we see a movie where you think this person is so terrible, and then you get to see the other side of the story? And you realize that they did the best job that they could. The decisions they made were based on their past experience, just like we make our decisions. And you realize that you really can't think that that person's such a bad guy, because what you may have done the same thing had you gone through every step that they did. And that's a viewpoint we can't get anyplace but in
That's
TV.
what you're learning in your class now. He has a self-confidence by Mayo, and he's just beginning it. I told him he had done the first class, so class number 2 is when that's when you learn that.
You're ready to go on. That's a good one.
Well, I had an experience, and it was a lesson. I cut over the neighbor's lawn, and I knew better than that. And my great nieces told me, don't go over the lawn like that because it's uneven. But I didn't listen, and I fell, and I hurt my forehead and my eyes, my nose, and my glasses were plastic, and they had grass in them and dirt. But this was a week ago. I looked like I had been in a prize fight, and it's all gone except a little pain occasionally in my shoulder. But that was a lesson to me. I had no right being there, and I knew it too. But you know how people are. So I learned. There's nothing bad. There's nothing bad. It's there for to teach you something.
Shall we stand and hold hands? As we hold hands together, let us think of bringing down the spiritual understanding that we've been given to the physical plane, and not just to us on the physical, but to the whole physical plane and everyone on this planet. Let us think for this understanding going out to all of those who may be open for it, because it has made an imprint on the ether, and it is there. Let's send God's love into this lesson tonight, that it goes out and out, even to the whole universe, and to all other planets like ours, and to the understanding that anyone may need. Let's think of God's love going around this circle of light, building up in momentum, and filling this room, spreading out over this planet, and to the whole universe. Because God's love is all-powerful and all-wise and unlimited. Let's take the God's love going ahead of us into this week, into every thought, word, and deed, into every situation, into every encounter. Thank you, Father.
She got a grip.
Strong kid.
You giving hugs tonight?
So the whole go on.
Let's go.
Super team.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There's one. Okay.
Never knew you were there.
I'm afraid I've been a little.
Hadn't seen you in a
Yes,
while.
I'm not. Junie left, and it's just my own fault because I don't make myself there. So but we discussed walk very much. So walk across the yard more. I enjoy the light.
I know that. I learned that. Except is I got that right in well.
She's pretty special.
Any moments in conscious.
Oh, I'll call you, come in.
Really got her away now. Harder.
And the bathroom morning.
Something.
Walk across the yard now.
I know that. You remember now.
Oh, yeah.
Tell them I met Lee, I missed her.
I say we need it. And got the, and this is my other story. I had it coming. Betsy came talk to her study on full speed.
Yeah, I'm sticking with it. I wake up at night.
Oh, is she?
So, I'm enjoying it.
It'll sure pay off.
I hope so.
No, she did a little impersonation thing. I think wow. That just seems like you look back and I was like, God, I just need to. Did you get the class hard study?
Oh, I forgot to tell everybody, we got a new schedule over here.
Oh.
I just had plenty of them made up. So, take one. One on the bulletin board over there.
Even oh,
Best one ever. And then we'll have a mail out later on in the month. Oh, okay.
My blood sugar.
Okay, count here.
You must have been.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, a lot of stretching. What you do is
All the things I wanted.
what you do.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, but
No, Miss Double Wayne.
oh, prematurely. He wanted to be so much a part of it, but he didn't realize we wanted to go.
I called him on the phone. Out the phone.
There's off Thanksgiving.
I got enough. Yeah, it was neat.
Yeah, and he said, Donald said to me, it was nice seeing you again the first time I met him. And then I turned back and looked at it because it was such an odd thing for someone to say to you. And I saw all these rotters watching an art felt like that. And then I went back and I thought, I looked back, sure enough, they were all sitting there, thousands of them, trying to have seen it. But I first tried to know it picture it. Yeah.
That really got back.
Come here and give me a hug, Bart. Whoop. Hey there. For all years.
It's a fun part. I'll be there. Ready to bring the blood. I noticed your child. She's getting to know how to play by ear.
Little boy school there. You know if ever bring it in.
That's nice.
Here's the change from
And the receipt
something that feet on body.
from your sink.
Where's my hug? That's what the tank is, my hug.
The candy for food sounds.
I'll wear a thousand.
Great. All things to send us a face of Christ consciousness.
Yeah, that's the
Great doing.
I think that's a good one.
You want one, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see, I haven't turned quite. Oh, that conversation.
I don't even